High school is a killer. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 moments from Heathers.
You got power. Power I didn't think you had.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at the most memorable moments from the 1988 black comedy.
Today was great. Chaos is great. Chaos is what killed the dinosaurs, darling.
Number 10. Heather Chandler's death.
Veronica Meet have a hangover, so I whipped this up for you. It's a family recipe.
Everyone fantasizes about killing the queen bee from time to time. But what would happen if somebody actually followed through with that morbid daydream? From the moment Heather Chandler is fed some liquid drain cleaner and dies, audiences knew that Heathers was going to be a different kind of teen movie, and we accordingly strapped ourselves in for the ride. When the movie kills off the character you love to hate in the first half, what's left? A hell of a lot, as it turns out.
Did you hear? School's canceled today because Kurt and Ram killed themselves in a repressed homosexual suicide pact.
No way!
Number 9. Meeting JD's dad.
Hey, son, I didn't hear you come in.
Hey, Dad.
We all know JD as the bad boy with a touch of crazy, so what could be more interesting than meeting the guy who raised such a kid?
Gosh, Pop, I almost forgot to introduce my girlfriend.
Oh. Veronica is my dad, Veronica.
Hi.
Big Bud gets a kick out of blowing stuff up, which is great since he's a demolitions guy. And when you get to do the job you love, life is good. Except when you pass on your destructive tendencies to your offspring. And then there's the fact JD's mother killed herself by walking into a building that Big Bud rigged up to explode. We have to wonder if it had anything to do with being married to a psychopath.
Last time I saw my mom, she was waving from a library window in Texas.
Number 8. Talking emotions.
I heard it was really gnarly. She sucked down a bowl of multi-purpose deodorizing disinfectant and then smashed!
As a teacher in a school that's been racked by a spate of suicides, talking to your students about death must be a daunting thing. So when one teacher takes it upon herself to encourage her class to open up about their emotions to prevent any further suicides, it's both well-meaning and hilarious.
I'm just so thrilled to finally have an example of the profound sensitivity of which a human animal is capable.
We know that there hasn't been a single suicide, and that there is a murderer stalking the corridors. When Veronica breaks into laughter, we can't help but laugh with her, because the whole thing just seems so ridiculous.
Are we gonna be testing on this?
Number 7. Car lighter.
So we killed them, didn't we?
Of course.
High school is rarely what anyone thinks it's going to be, but for Veronica, it becomes a rabbit hole of murder. The longer she lets JD have his way, the more people die. It isn't what she signed on for, and we can't help but feel sorry for her. She can't break away from JD, and she's complicit in the murders. This scene sums up their relationship. She hurts herself to feel something, and he uses her pain to have fun. By the time she and JD kill Kurt and Ram, it's too late for her to go back. If there's ever been an abusive relationship in a teen movie, this is it.
I did not want them dead.
You did too.
Number 6. Veronica versus Heather.
You goddamn bitch.
You were nothing before you met me. You were playing Barbies with Betty Finn.
When your place on the social ladder is determined by the friends you have and the parties you go to, it's no wonder that Veronica latched on to the Heathers. This scene shows us the friction between Heather and Veronica after Veronica messes up her opportunity at a cool Remington University party. She refuses sex and gets drunk enough to throw up on the carpet, almost ruining Heather's reputation. But we have to say that Veronica voicing one of the most memorable lines of the movie makes all the cringing worth it. And we appreciate seeing people starting to show their real feelings about the Heathers.
What's my thanks? It's on the hallway carpet. I got paid in puke.
Lick it up, baby. Lick it up.
Number 5. Dream sequence.
Eskimo.
Just in case you aren't sure if being partially responsible for the deaths of some of your classmates leaves a psychological impact, this scene lets you know. Veronica starts hallucinating Heather Chandler, who speaks to her from beyond the grave, illuminated by her signature color, red. Just as much of a competitive bitch in death as she was in life, she makes an interesting addition to Veronica's deteriorating mental state.
Is this turnout weak or what? I had at least 70 more people at my funeral.
She might have been surprised at seeing her again, but no teen movie would be complete without the queen bee buzzing around, right? Even if she's dead.
Dinner! Veronica, dinner!
Number 4. Heather's funeral.
Technically, I did not kill Heather Chandler, but hey, who am I trying to kid, right?
We love the scene, even though it might not have been exactly what we were expecting. But then again, nothing about Heather's is what we were expecting. It's a time of mourning for the loss of the illustrious Heather Chandler. But instead of grief, we get a whole bunch of character voiceovers giving us an insight into the minds of our various schoolmates.
Why'd you have to kill such hot snatch? It's a joke, man.
Whether it's the jocks being disappointed that they no longer have a chance with her, or the girls who are glad that God answered their prayers and killed her, there's something in this scene that will shock and amuse.
Praise Jesus. Hallelujah.
Number 3. JD and Veronica meet.
Hello, Jason Dean.
Greetings and salutations.
There are a few things more painful than talking to your crush for the first time, and this scene has us almost cringing at the awkwardness. Veronica introduces herself to the new guy while the Heathers watch, and she turns into the shy, awkward teenager that she really is. JD thinks he's super cool, with a quick-witted answer for everything, and you think you can see right through his act, right up until he pulls out a gun, and your whole perception of him changes. We wish Veronica had waited around a few minutes longer to see this side of him. Maybe so much of the disaster that follows this meeting might have been avoided.
He used a real gun. They should throw his ass in jail.
No way. He used blanks.
Number 2. Lunchtime Poll.
I need you to forge a hot and horny but realistically low-key note in Kurt's handwriting, and we'll slip it onto Martha Dumpchuck's lunch tray.
For some reason, the Heathers like to spend their lunch times going around and asking silly survey questions about the student population.
So this is what's called a lunchtime poll. You win $5 million in the publisher's sweepstakes.
While this doesn't strike us as something the popular girls at a regular high school would do, we know that this movie doesn't exactly represent the typical high school experience. Plus, it's a great opening scene because it introduces us to all the different types of students, while also giving us an idea of who our main characters are.
The note will give her shower nozzle masturbation material for weeks.
And hey, if it means hearing Heather Chandler giving us one of the most quotable lines ever, we are definitely not complaining.
Me gently with the chainsaw. Do I look like Mother Teresa?
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
What are you trying to do, kill me? What are you trying to do, sleep?
Suicide is a private thing.
Betty Finn was a true friend, and I sold her out for a bunch of Swatch dogs and Diet Coke heads. Killing Heather'd be like offing the Wicked Witch of the West. Wait, East. West? God, you sound like a psycho.
My son's a homosexual, and I love him. I love my dead gay son.
How do you think he'd react to a son that had a limp wrist with a pulse?
Number 1. Veronica's badass ending.
My date for the prom kind of flaked out on me. I was wondering if you were doing anything that night. Maybe we could rent some new releases.
After watching more than an hour and a half of a couple of teenagers slowly deteriorating into madness, we knew that the only way this movie would end was with a bang. Literally. JD wants to blow up the school, but Veronica, tired of her friends dying, decides that she's had enough of his BS and stops him.
You think just because you started this thing you can end it?
I'll kill you. I'll kill you, I swear to God.
And maybe JD is just reacting to being unloved and alone, but we can't muster up much sympathy when he walks out with a bomb strapped to his chest. We are all Veronica, super chill with our cigarettes, waiting for the toxic person in our lives to explode, knowing that we will finally get some peace.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.